Grayson Report. Happy Thursday. What is up? Gunner Girl, Shelly, Carol, Matthew, Lisa Boo, Bernadette, Joanne, Chris, Barber. How's everyone doing? How was I was going to say your weekend, but how has your week been thus far? There you go. Rochelle, how's it going? Kiki Rose, what is up? While we wait for people to trickle in, how is everyone doing? Did anyone watch any crazy movies the last couple of days? What did I watch? Because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is on Hulu for those of you that have it. It was pretty good. I actually enjoyed it. I know it's not horror related, but it is on Hulu if you guys are looking for something to watch. Also caught Maxine, but it's on VOD. It's not on a streaming service. We decided to purchase it. I'd have to say Maxine is the weaker of the two, but I still enjoyed it. Bernadette finished the House of Dragons. I could not get into that. Or Game of Thrones. I could not get into any of that, so I wasn't really into like wanting to watch House of Dragon. Rochelle goes, she just watched A Lonely Place to Die on Shudder. I know there's that Nicolas Cage movie that's on Accordion, I think it is. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list. I'm trying to think what else. The First Omen, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Hulu as well. Actually like that one. Abigail is on Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys haven't seen that one yet too. If you have Peacock. This month I think there's another movie. There's Cuckoo that came out. Long Legs is out, but it's not on streaming yet. It's something I want to see. Cuckoo, again, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, it looks kind of cool. Alien Romulus is supposed to come out this month. And I think that rounds out. I'm pretty sure there's other ones that they don't mention too much of that are coming out this month as well. Chris Barber, sorry to hear. I got bad news. The plate in my neck is coming loose and I'm going to have another surgery. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully they can fix it right. Hopefully they can fix it right the first time. Bernadette goes, this season sucked. That does suck, Chris. Sorry to hear about that. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully they can get it squared away. And it's not too much of a recovery time. No, Bernadette, I'm saving that one. I have not watched Talk to Me yet. I am saving that one. That's all. That's going to be next, Bernadette. Don't worry. That one's going to be next. That's a movie I've been wanting to see for the past year. Chris goes, I guess my bones are soft. Unfortunately, with us, women, as we get older, we lose our bone density, unfortunately, which is a sucky part. As we age, we lose bone density and bone mass, so it kind of sucks. Rochelle goes, maybe that's why I'm craving dairy like crazy. I take a multivitamin, but I think there's almost so much a multivitamin could take, could do. Shelly asks, have I been watching Evil? No, I have not. Bernadette goes, girl, I was walking to the bathroom and my knee gave out face first on the floor. Oh. That happens to me sometimes when I'm sitting for too long. And then like my it's weird. It's like my feet stop working. It's not that they've fallen asleep. It's weird. Like they feel weird. Pixie Dusted, how's it going? No, actually, you're not really late. I just started. I'm just waiting for people to trickle in. So we are just having a conversation before I get into the nitty gritty. Emily Parkinson, what is up? Evil's pretty good. No, I haven't watched that. I have to check that out. Lisa Boo goes, if you take calcium supplements, make sure you take magnesium too, so it will absorb better. I do take magnesium. It kind of helps me. Actually, it's funny because I take magnesium more for right before I go to bed. So I do take magnesium. So I am good there. So while we're waiting, before I get into the nitty gritty, I do have an article I want to share. It is darn pop-ups. 7 airports known for paranormal activity. Have you ever felt a strange energy in an airport, a chill down your spine as you walk through the terminal? You're not alone, literally. There's something inherently unsettling about airports. Perhaps it's the constant hum of machinery, the vast echoing spaces, or the strange assortment of people passing through. Either way, some airports with darker histories than most are breeding grounds for the unexplained. Think about it, airports are liminal spaces. They exist between worlds where people are in a state of transition, suspended between departure and arrival. This liminal quality, combined with the sheer volume of human energy passing through, can create a potent brew of paranormal activity. From ghostly passengers to eerie occurrences, these strange airports have their fair share of spine-chilling tales. With that, take a flight into the world's most haunted airports and delve into the shadowy corners they hide. So it starts off with Denver International Airport in Colorado, a gateway to the unknown thanks to creepy murals and arts. I don't really take planes. I'm not a plane person, so I haven't been in an airport, I think, in a couple years. Nerd Report in the house. Rochelle, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Welcome, Carrie C. to Mothman, Elfig, It's Still Me, Kania. Welcome, and Vicky T. Welcome to the Wolfpack. Hearts for Rochelle and all the new Wolfpack members. What's up, the Mod Squad Network? And if you're just coming in, I'm just going through this article real quick while we wait for people to come in before I get into the nitty gritty, the spooky wookie. Thank you, Rochelle. I really appreciate that. Denver International Airport is more than just a place to catch a flight. It's become a hub for conspiracy theories, paranormal activity, and urban legends. The airport's vast underground tunnels, coupled with its eerie murals and mysterious construction delays, have fueled speculation about hidden chambers and secret government projects. One TikTok user at hollow_hollis recently, June 3rd of 2024, went viral after exploring hidden corridors and rooms within the airport. The video, which is also available on YouTube, shows creepy endless hallways and peculiar spaces, fueling a wave of speculation about the dreaded back rooms and igniting fear among viewers. Thank you, Shelly, for your super chat. Just sending some love. Thank you, Shelly. I really appreciate that. Heart for Shelly as well. Pixie Dusty. Hixie Dusted, thank you for being a trooper. I really appreciate that. This is my first live. I can't believe I'm even up this late. I work at 5 a.m. The Chicago O'Hare International Airport, Illinois, is a hub of hauntings from a history of tragic loss. Chicago's O'Hare International Airport is a bustling hub for travelers and offers cheap flights around the world, but beneath its modern facade lies a darker history. The tragic crash of American Airline Flight 191 in 1979 cast a long shadow over the airport. This devastating event, claiming the lives of 271 people, is often linked to the numerous paranormal experiences reported at O'Hare. In the aftermath of the crash, strange occurrences began to unfold. Eyewitnesses reported seeing ghostly figures, hearing unexplained noises, and experiencing an eerie atmosphere around the crash site. Number 5, Fresno Chandler Executive Airport, California. A haunting departure that'll leave you spooked. Numerous reports of paranormal activity have transformed the airport into a local legend, from ghostly apparitions walking through walls to spectral figures of an elderly man seemingly observing phantom flights from the control tower. The airport is teeming with eerie encounters, strange noises, unexplained movements of objects, and an overall unsettling atmosphere have made Chandler Airport a hotspot of paranormal investigations. Even the airport's kitchen has its share of ghostly activity. Staff members have reported inexplicable movements of objects, suggesting a paranormal presence in the heart of the once bustling facility. Rochelle goes, O'Hare is massive. Duluth International Airport in Minnesota, an airport haunted by a vengeful woman still looking for someone. Beyond Duluth International Airport's terminals and operations lies a chilling history of paranormal activity. Security guards have reported seeing a spectral figure of a woman believed to be a victim of a violent crime that occurred near the airport. Legend has it that the woman was fatally stabbed and her assailant fled into the airport's terminals. Her spirit is said to wander the terminals eternally searching for her killer. Employees report unexplained alarms, doors mysteriously opening and closing, and an overall sense of unease, all attributed to the restless ghost. Number 3, Savannah Hilton Head International Airport in Georgia, an airport built on a cemetery with gravestones clearly visible on the runway. That is freaking crazy. Local legend tells of two spectral figures often seen near the northern end of the runway at Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, particularly at dusk. These apparitions are believed to be the ghost of Richmond and Catherine Dotson, the original landowners whose graves were inadvertently incorporated into Savannah's airport's construction. Unable to relocate the Dotsons' remains, airport authorities made the difficult decision to build over their graves. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Daniel K. Inouye, I probably am butchering the pronunciation, so I apologize in advance. International Airport, Hawaii, a place between a Hawaiian dream and a haunting of the past. Oahu's no stranger to creepy haunted hotspots, but perhaps one of the most unassuming is Honolulu's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, which is more than just a gateway to paradise. Beneath its tropical facade lies a darker, more mysterious side. Local legends speak of a ghostly woman, often referred to as a lady in waiting, who haunts the airport. Some believe she is the ghost of a heartbroken woman who tragically ended her life after a failed love affair. Besides the lady in waiting, people have described feeling a suffocating presence while resting, as if something or someone is trying to cut off their air supply. Number 1, the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport in Georgia, the tale of two cemeteries on the runway. Two cemeteries, Flat Rock and Hart, lie within Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport's sprawling grounds. These forgotten burial grounds, swallowed by aviation's relentless expansion, have given rise to hosts of paranormal encounters. At least 90 people are buried beneath the airport. What? Employees and passengers have reported strange occurrences, from unexplained noises to unsettling feelings suggesting the presence of restless spirits. Hidden in plain sight, the cemeteries cast a long shadow over the airport, transforming it into something more than just a transportation hub. Learning not to panic will help you brave Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta, the world's busiest airport. From ghostly apparitions to eerie occurrences, these airports have become hotspots for paranormal activity. Whether it's the chilling presence of a murdered woman, the spectral forms of long-departed souls, or the unsettling energy of forgotten burial grounds, these airports will challenge your perception of reality. So the next time you're waiting in for your flight during a long layover and you happen to be at one of these airports, please let me know if you experience anything. Spare a thought for the ghostly presence who might be sharing the terminal with you. And if you encounter anything unusual, keep calm and maybe avoid booking a late night flight. But if you really want to see if it's haunted, you would book a late night flight. Chris Barber goes, I've been through Atlanta Airport. Emily Parkinson goes, I've heard of supposed haunted planes because they reuse parts from crashes if possible. Whoa. Shelly goes, now that's some hillbilly stuff right there. That's crazy. With two of the airports, they're actually built over a cemetery, like grave, like a cemetery. That is crazy. And if you guys have a cool article, could be a video, could be a story that you've had a paranormal experience, if you'd like to share, please email me at graysonreport13@gmail.com. Bernadette has dropped it in the chat. Like I said, it could be an article, could be a video, could be your own experience, could be paranormal related, strange and unusual, UFO. If you find something interesting, please email me at graysonreport13@gmail.com and I may share it on my next stream. Just let me know what name you, because I don't want to give out real names, because I know some people have emailed me with real names. Just let me know which name you want said, or if you don't want me to share it, let me know that as well. And also, guys, as always, Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. Please remind me at the end of the stream, because I will forget. I have forgot to reveal his location. He is pictured in the upper right hand corner for those of you that are new, and every stream I usually move him and somewhere in this background. Birdie Dick goes, I myself am strange and unusual. We are getting closer and closer to Beetlejuice. It's releasing September 6th. It'll be here before we know it. Tales Told in the Dark, what is up? So I found, I saw about time traveling. So I saw this video. It was a while ago when I saw it, so it's a little bit old, but I thought it was kind of interesting. I never really talked about it until it came back. When I was doing a Google search, it came back, and it always I'm very weary when it comes to TikTok videos, because nowadays with technology, and then there's those people that want to be TikTok famous, that they add things. There's people that can edit things, and you can't tell any difference from an edited video compared to non-edited video. I mean, sometimes you can, depending on how well the edit is. But I saw this on iHorror, which is kind of cool. iHorror actually has like a strange and unusual section, which I thought was kind of cool. Usually I go to iHorror for like the movies. So this is baffling footage of time traveler captured on ring cam. I will show you. I'll go directly to the TikTok. That way I'll show you tidbits of the TikTok. Some physicists think that time travel is possible, and in recent social media story, we might believe them. It all started when a homeowner named Alec Shaw checked his outside security camera remotely. He saw a young gentleman walking aimlessly around the yard, seamlessly looking for something. The trespassing individual with a backpack over his shoulder entered the homeowner's tool shed. Basically, in the video, he said he thought the person was going to rob him. It is one of, I guess it's a Airbnb type property that he owns and he rents out. And So he has like most houses have security cameras. So he sees this gentleman walking in who he thought was going to rob the place. The trespassing individual with a backpack over his shoulder entered the homeowner's tool shed and closed the door. It seemed like a simple case of unlawful intrusion, but as the homeowner reviewed the entire footage, he noticed something strange and ended up calling the police. There is in the footage as well, he did call the police. You do see the police come onto his property. You do see the police open up the tool shed and there's nobody in there. The reason why he called the police because he never saw the gentleman walk out of the tool shed. Which you might say, like with cameras, sometimes they don't catch everything, because sometimes my cameras don't catch every little thing. But he was basically like keeping a close eye on that camera, because he's like, who is this guy? I do the same thing. If I got someone strange coming up to my walkway, I'm like, who is this? And I always like I'll look at every camera angle to see who it is. It's because of concern when the interloper never exited the shed. Worried, the homeowner had law enforcement check on the situation, but the investigation turned up nothing. The stranger was nowhere to be found. He seamlessly disappeared into thin air. That would have been the end of it, but what happened next is even stranger. The next day, someone who looks like the first guy emerges from the shed, but he appears 30 years older. Since this weird story broke, Shaw's TikTok has been blowing up, and he has given several updates. Of course, some people are outright skeptical about the whole thing, while others want more proof, which Shaw provides, which is true. I don't blame him, because there's a lot, like I said earlier, there's a lot of people trying to be TikTok famous. And then with technology, it's so easy to add things and to edit things. And they also said you have someone out there in the world that looks like you or similar to you. So it could just be a quidinky dink. So I don't blame these people for, being skeptical. And the most recent update, Shaw says TikTok is trying to remove the story from his feed, saying that it violates their guidelines about gambling. He appealed but was declined. What's guideline about gambling? What the heck? Take a look at the video. I will show you the video after I finish the article, and let us know what you think. Because I went to the source, because sometimes when you go to these videos, it doesn't. And I think that is it for this article. Yeah, that is it for this article. All right, I'll show some pixie dust. It goes the way our world is going. There's not much I don't believe at this point. Hold on here. Let me click. It would help if I clicked on the link. Heather, whatever goes, I met my doppelganger a long time ago. She noticed it too and said, you look like me 4 years ago. I did. And my mom passed away in 2011. So a couple years later, I want to say a couple 3 or 4 years later, I used to work years ago. I used to work at a golf course snack bar. So probably a couple years after her death, I saw this woman, and it nearly made me stop in my tracks because she looked identical to my mom. And I was like I literally could not stop not looking at her, because it was like it was like watching a ghost. I was like, so I do know there's someone out there. I mean, I haven't met mine, but I do believe in the concept that there's someone out there that looks like you. And I've seen people that have also looked like my dad as well. My dad passed away 4 years ago, so that or they remind me of my dad. So it's like it's weird. But the woman that looked like my mom, I was like trying to rub my eyes. I could not believe it. It was like I was seeing a ghost in front of me. And it was kind of freaky in a way, because
disappeared.
Hold on,
And
guys.
I have an update regarding the time traveler that went into my shed and disappeared. And this is going to blow a lot of people's minds. And if you're still denying that this is real at this point, this
Hold on. You cannot see this.
is going to change your mind.
There.
So just a quick recap. This guy walks around my backyard, goes to my shed, opens the door, goes inside, and disappears. All the cops. The cops came. They went in the shed twice. He wasn't in there.
Let me see if
They
I can make
looked.
this.
I looked like
I don't think I can make this any bigger because it's TikTok. Yeah, it won't let me make it any bigger, so I do apologize, guys. And I am on full screen. I even tried to. It won't.
looked like an insane guy. The cops are like, "What is this guy smoking?" And you can see he never came back until the next day, right here. Notification on my camera that there's somebody in my backyard, and this guy leaves my shed. And he looks right at the camera too. That guy left my shed. But here's the craziest part. This looks like the same guy, maybe glasses, whatever. Let's look at the other guy. This was the other guy. He noticeably aged. Looks like the same guy, but aged. So him again, and now him. Same facial features, whiter hair. So I don't even know what to think at this point. Somebody explain this. He literally left the same shed. You saw the camera I put before. There was no movement that whole night. Then the next day, this guy leaves the shed, looks right at the camera like he knows, and he looks noticeably older. I don't know. Something's going on. Somebody explain what's going on.
So basically, that's. I mean, it's kind of hard to see because I can't. Uh. So basically, that is what he sees. It's basically it's his Airbnb, it's his property that he rents out for, to people to stay at. And of course, like any homeowner, he has cameras. He has a Ring camera, and he sees this younger gentleman, which is pictured I have pictured there, walk into his property, goes into his shed. His shed is basically where the washing machine is. That's a weird place for a washing machine, but that's where he has his washing machine. His washer and dryer. That's where they do laundry on that property, which is kind of weird. So he sees this gentleman walk in. The gentleman never comes out. He gets a little worried because he's like, "What the hell is he doing in my shed?" Which I don't blame him. And then he calls the cops. He calls the cops, which you see here, to check you can barely see. He should have had it on full screen. You can barely see it. He calls the cops. He's like, "What the heck?" He's worried because the guy never came out. Like, is he staying in my shed or something? Which I'm assuming he doesn't say, but that's what I would be thinking. Cops didn't find anything. And then I think a day later, he sees this man walk out. So, guys, what do you think it could be? I mean, most of the time I don't believe in TikTok videos, like I said, but this kind of, it's kind of intriguing. And Bernadette, thank you for your gifting 5 memberships. Welcome, Tales Told in the Dark, Marloka, Lindsay Lou, Angie Nelson, and Toys R Us Kid to the Wolfpack Hearts for Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette. I really appreciate that. The mod squad goes, "I swear I have a doppelganger. When I was in high school, some guy came up to me and I was talking to me like we knew each other. He had just moved here from LA and was excited that I did too." Oh, wow. Heather whatever goes, "Why are there 2 there?" He is basically saying the guy that walked in, because this guy looks similar to the younger guy that walked into the shed. Because if in this video you do not see the younger guy walk out, he even had, like I was saying, he even had the cops patrol the area. He does not live in that house, so he was kind of concerned. So he had the cops. I'm assuming because he's thinking the guy is staying in the shed or something for the night, but he never sees the guy come out, so he ends up calling the cops. Cops didn't find anything. Then a day later, literally, this man pops out of the shed. The Mod Squad goes, I was like, I'm born and raised and never left Arizona. He was also calling me by some other name. That is weird, Mod Squad. Heather, whatever goes, they don't look like the same guy to me, though. They kind of do. They look similar. But like I said, there's always someone that kind of looks like you, and it's not necessarily you. Bernadette goes, so is that the young guy when he's a bit older and then he sees himself older later? I think so. I'm not sure what's going on. This is what the guy claims. Gunner Girl goes, I've had that happen. It's freaky. I was walking into Walmart one time and I heard my mom say my name. I was walking out. She spoke louder. I turned my head fast, but I didn't see her, but it was her. Wow, that's crazy, Gunner Girl. Thank you. It's still me, Kenya. Saying smash that like button when you guys get a chance. And thank you. Love your mic, Kenya. It's still me, Kenya, again. Thank you. So, guys, what do you think it is? Do you think it's a time traveler or do you think this guy is tricking us? Because he's literally adamant. He's posted more than one video saying, look, this is what's in. Like, he even put a camera in the shed and nothing happened. Like, he's literally gone out of his way. This is just like kind of just just an update video I thought was better to show you. But he's literally has like 4 videos on his TikTok. Trying to like, because he knows people don't believe him. Heather, whatever goes, I think there's something in his shed, like an invisible door. Rochelle goes, I think time travel is something that can happen and probably has occurred, but I think maybe this isn't real. Bernadette goes, man, if I see myself younger, I would slap myself and be like, B, don't do this, pay this, and etc. You know what, Bernadette, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, whoosh. The person would be like, I mean, I still kind of look like my younger self, so it'd be like the Flash. It'd be like the Flash. I'd be the more mature one, and Lisa Bugo's not sure, but sounds like a portal. And the guy, see, the weird thing is, this older gentleman knew there was a camera. He looked at it. Like you could see, yeah, Bernadette goes, dang right, the Flash, exactly. Where you have the younger Flash and the older Flash, like the more mature Flash. I don't know what it could be. Besides, the only thing I can think of, if it is fake, like I said, I'm always skeptical when it comes to these videos, but if it is fake, the only thing I can think of is editing. But if it isn't, because I mean, literally there was cops there in the video, but you could get people to dress up like cops, because I mean, if you really wanted to, you can probably, like, if you had the equipment, you could zoom in and check to see the authenticity of the uniforms that the guys are wearing. But the cops kind of put a little bit of validity on that. But there's anyone that could dress up like cops nowadays. That's the scary thing. The Mod Squad goes, I hear that if time travel ever actually happens, you can only go to the future. Well, that's kind of what happened here. Like, say like the younger guy was from 2024 and this older guy is the guy in the future that came back. But then why would he want to come back as an older guy? That's why it makes no sense. Unless the older guy was like boink with his younger self and decided to come through. It's still me. Kenya goes crazy, but I want to believe it's time travel. And Rochelle goes, yes, I definitely advise anyone in a situation where they don't feel comfortable pulling over, don't go to the nearest public place where it's well lit, and then pull over, and you can just explain after you get to the place and you finally pull over. I know that's the scary thing, because nowadays there's people impersonating people to get into your home. So it's like, that's why I don't, it puts some validity to it, but it doesn't put 100% validity to this video. But with my understanding, this gentleman doesn't live in the area where his Airbnb is. So I don't know. It could be a portal. It could be something where that guy knows he could be from another universe. And he's using it, or it could just be the luck, the draw of editing with technology. But the guy insists. He's like, I know you guys don't believe me. So it's kind of hard. Like, I'm 50-50 with it. I want to believe like it's still me, Kenya. I want to believe these. I want to believe that the person caught, a UFO. I want to believe this gentleman here, but it's hard. Bernadette goes, you know what I thought of? Did Back to the Future have phones like we do now? Like we take selfies? I don't think it did, Bernadette. I mean, it had some. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't think it did like actual phones, but it did have like phones where you would talk, like Zoom call type phones. So it had that, because I remember a scene where the older Michael J. Fox was talking to like his boss, I'm assuming, on a big old screen. So like a Zoom call. The Mod Squad goes, that reminds me of the closet from Real Genius where dude disappeared in it. It could be what Heather whatever said. There could be a secret compartment in the room that he's not telling us of. Or maybe an underground tunnel. You never know. That goes somewhere, and then this gentleman comes up. Heather, whatever it goes, there's a guy who said he was from the future, John Titor. My dad wrote about him. I forgot his name, so went to my dad's blog to look, but they removed it. It was there since the 90s. I do have another article that kind of talks about time travel. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one. No, it's not this one. I have two of them. It's this one. Give me a second, guys. So I do have this article. There are other articles about time travelers, which I did not know. It's still me, Kenya. It sounds crazy, but anything is possible. Very true. Heather, whatever goes, I think John Titor called Coast to Coast in the 90s. I don't know if this is the same guy, but we'll find out. So there's also this gentleman. Oh, it's not. This guy has a different name. Sergei Ponomarenko, who claimed to be a time traveler. This is from the Daily Mirror. A bizarre story of how a time traveler claiming he was from 1932 went to 2050. We've all dreamed of owning our own time machine with the fantasy of traveling back in time to see the dinosaurs the thousands of years into the future, to fly a car around the sky. But there's one man who claims to have already reached this feat. Over the years, we've seen loads of people say they've bounced back and forth through the ages. However, most of their stories Most of their stories are usually debunked, and none have quite as interesting a tale as Sergei Ponomarenko. Back in 2006, the world stood still as a Ukrainian man turned up in the capital of Kyiv, claiming to authorities that he was from 1932. And while many would instantly assume he was either insane or lying, he actually had a pretty compelling case. Wearing a dated outfit and an old fashioned camera around his neck, he undeniably looked like he was from the year he claimed. But the most convincing element of the whole thing was that he carried a Soviet document from the 50s, which he claimed showed he was 25. So here's a picture of a document which they had just explained from the 50s that showed that he was 25 or claimed that he was 25. At this point, heads began to turn. However, many still scoffed at this version of events, but everything changed when Ponomarenko whipped out his camera, claiming he'd taken pictures in the 50s. Remarkably, upon developing the pictures, authorities confirmed that the images were indeed from the period and showed him with an unnamed woman as well as an image the photographer alleged was a UFO. Supposedly, upon taking the snap, he was transported into the future. Things kept getting weirder when authorities looked back through the vaults and discovered that a man by the same name had gone missing in 1958. Puzzled by the story, they tracked down his girlfriend, who was in her 70s at the time, and worrying she was the woman from the photo. She said that her boyfriend disappeared for a few days before returning and later vanishing again in the 70s. She also possessed a photo of him as an older man, supposedly from the year 2050. After speaking to a doctor, it looked like his story may actually be true, especially when he disappeared in the middle of the night without a trace. According to the genius of Albert Einstein, in theory, what he alleged took place is theoretically possible. However, a YouTuber has researched the case more extensively than anyone, and he's convinced that he spotted a hole in the tale. But has he really cracked the case? Joe Scott says that the pictures were taken from a Ukrainian TV show called Aliens, which discusses the possibility of extraterrestrial life, and that the picture from the 70s had photoshopped architecture and even featured the Empire State Building. However, he couldn't find any details on crime reports or doctor interviews, leaving the mystery still open to interpretation. So there's really nothing to explain this man. Um, that gentleman tried to debunk it, but there was nothing else he could debunk. The Mod Squad Network goes, I've heard this story before. I've always kind of believed it. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's still me, Kenya. I love all this stuff. Bernadette is asking, do you know that movie Idiocracy? I'm gonna like tongue twist it. Sorry. Well, they had a low budget, and the costume designer needed crazy cool shoes, so she found a company that had that kind of shoe. Years later, that company became huge. They were wearing Croc shoes. No way! That's crazy. It was Bernadette also said it was about time travel too, but with the world ran by idiots. That's super cool. I also have this man who also claimed he was a time traveler. This one's from the Daily Star. I kind of take these because they are tabloid type, sites like TMZ is. So I kind of take them with a grain of salt, but they do have interesting stories. Time traveler experiences life in the year 6000 and says he has pictures to prove it. So a bloke claiming to be a time traveler from the future has spilled the beans on what our world would look like in the year 6000, and he's even gotten a snap of a futuristic city to back up his wild claims. That really doesn't mean anything, because if you are a whiz at Photoshop, you can create anything. And then now we've got AI that you could tell it what you want it to make and it'll make it for you, like a picture. The geezer, with his face blurred out, reckons he was part of a top wicked the geezer part of a top secret time hopping project back in the 90s. He dished out details about life 4 millennia down the line, suggesting that medicine, governance, and tech advancement will make today's society look proper old fashioned. With his voice all muffled to hide his identity, the self proclaimed whistleblower insists that humans are living at large under the watchful eye of a friendly AI bigwig. Okay. The wacky footage. Hold on. Rabbit hole. The wacky footage dropped on Apex TV, a YouTube hotspot for all things spooky and unexplained, featured the time travel chap having a chat in a secret spot, spilling the beans on hush hush tech and what apparently is in store for us in 6000 AD. Here are some pictures of the geezer, as the article says. I can't believe they used geezer. And allegedly, this blurred out picture is a picture from the future. He also claims, but then he said, is this from the 90s? Because 90s didn't have that technology like we do now. He also claims to have a picture of an unnamed city to prove time travel is real. However, the image is extremely blurred, although the man says that's just what happens when you zip through time. In the time travel process, pictures tend to get distorted as well as many other things, he explains. He goes on, I know a lot of you are going to find my story extremely hard to believe, and I don't blame you. And if I was watching somebody claim these same things, I myself would most likely not believe them. It's not my intention to deceive anybody. I simply want to spread a message about the future of humanity and where the world is headed. I have seen the way the world's changed and the technologies that have emerged. It would blow your mind if you only knew the technologies that exist in the year 6000. I mean, in the year 6000, I would think there'd be a lot of, we're already headed in a direction of where everything's going to be kind of be controlled by technology. It kind of already is. I mean, we have there's touch screens on the fridge now. So I'm pretty sure I believe it. But I'm not sure if he went to the year 6000. The time traveler then begins to cry as he reveals that he left a close friend behind who can never return. I know he's in a good place, the man said. In a way, the future is like a utopia, but sadly, when we attempt to travel back, we couldn't. I just wanted to see him one more time. So another crazy case of a time traveler. I'm not sure if I believe that one. That one kind of seems far-fetched. Lisa Boo, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Lots of love to you and everyone. Love your shows. Thank you, Lisa Boo. I do appreciate that. Hearts for Lisa Boo, guys. Pixie Dusted asked, did anyone ever figure out how that time traveler from TikTok is showing up to completely empty spaces? Hospitals, stadiums, police stations, all seemingly deserted? No. That is weird. It could again because Pixie Dusted, like I said earlier, it's really hard for me personally. I want to believe, really hard for me to believe TikTok videos. Because there's someone out there, not saying everyone, but there's a lot of people out there that want to be TikTok famous. So and have very great editing skills. Bernadette goes, okay, so if you could time travel to any time, what time would you travel to? I would travel. I would probably do the Back to the Future thing. I would probably travel back to the 50s or the 40s. I love the fashion in the 40s and 50s. I'd love the cars. Heck, because I love the Renaissance period, I'd probably drop in for a minute. I don't think I could stand the Renaissance period. Plus, they'd probably, hang me because they would think I'd be using some witchcraft. So I don't think I want to go back that far. But it'd be cool to see. Yeah, they would have me condemned in the tower if I went back that far. But it'd be kind of cool to see the land of kings and queens. I probably wouldn't want to stay too long. Like I said, I'd probably be condemned to the tower or have my head cut off, one of the two. But it'd be like Back to the Future. I'd probably go back to the 50s and 40s. I do, like I said, I like the cars, I like the fashion. I've always liked the hairstyles. Um, I like that. I'm not like a girly girl, but I do like the dresses they wore back then, the hats, the shoes, like stuff I probably would never wear. The cars are amazing. Um, they don't make them like that anymore. And I would probably go to the future because I'm always curious to see. I bet you the future is not going to be what we think it's going to be, but it'd be cool to see. Shelley goes in the year 6000. It sounds like something Conan O'Brien. Mod Squad would go to the Old West. Emily, same reason why I don't, with AI, I don't trust too many videos or pics. And it's not just AI. There's people that have amazing editing skills. I mean, I, for one, don't. You could see where I edit. But there are people out there that have amazing editing skills where they can like go like that and change their clothes and you can't see it. I wish I knew how to do that. But so that's why it's hard for me to believe some of these, ghost videos that, oh, here's my Ring camera, look at what I caught. Even with that, because some of those, the Ring cameras or Blink or whatever they may have, it could be like a flare or something too, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's paranormal. Heather, whatever that too, that's why I probably wouldn't stay too long. People were stinky in the Renaissance. Bernadette goes, they would be like, why does she smell so good? Clean witchcraft. Exactly. They would have me condemned to the tower. They would put me in that, I don't know what they call that, that thing where your head goes in your arms and they close it. They would have me in that. I don't know what that's called. They'd probably put me on a stake and leave me out there to, stuff like that. That's why I would honestly not go back that far. Pixie Dusted goes, I think his name is at MLB2231 on TikTok for anyone that wants to check it out. Bernadette goes, I honestly would go back for a minute to see the dinosaurs. Would love to see them in person. That would be cool, Bernadette. Gunner Girl goes, definitely the 80s, maybe the 60s, and the cowboy days. Rochelle goes, it does. Oh my God, you, Lewis, and Conan alongside his assistants, Jordan and Sonia. Heather, whatever goes in my thumbnail or image, we dressed up like the 50s for what's called Hot August Nights in Reno. The Stockade. Thank you, ladies. Shelly and Carol. Thank you. I appreciate it. The Stockade or the Stocks. Thank you. They'll put me in that, or they'll be like either that or they would hire, because a lot of kings did use, they had, like in Lord of the Rings, like worm tongue. They had those type of people. So they either may be intrigued and be like, so what happens to me in the future? So they may not try to kill me at first, but still, I would probably avoid that time period. Oh, that too, Wendy, the guillotine. Take her to the guillotine. That too. Chris Barber goes, I think I would like to be an adult in the 60s. Shelley says the 70s was a great time to be young. Even the 20s, the roaring 20s, that would be so cool to see with the mobsters. Oh. But if we go, I mean, the 1800s kind of had that spiritual, they were into the spiritual thing, but they still had some things about witchcraft. So I think I'd be a little reserved into going back any earlier because they would think I was a witch. No, Carol, I know that. The guillotine is the thing that cuts your head off. No, I know. Emily goes, "Oh, it works. Thank you, Emily." I didn't know if it worked or anything. I just did with the Patreon notifications. But then I would try to avoid, if I do go in the future, I would try to avoid myself. Because I don't know. I mean, curiosity always kills the cat. So probably if I'm there, I would probably want to see what my life was like, but I would try to avoid it. Because I don't know if I would want to know what my future is and how it would affect me now if I were to come back to present time. And I do believe it's kind of like Flashpoint and Back to the Future. If you change something in the future, it'll affect your life now. So I would not want to change. I believe that could happen if we had the possibility of time travel, and I would not want to do that. Wendy goes, "I want to see my past self." Heather Weber goes, "Now I switched my image to look turn of the century. My husband and kids like to dress." That's cool. Bernadette goes, "I'm sorry, Lisa, but I cannot think how intimacy was in the Renaissance time." Gross. Oh, I don't want to even think about that. I I mean they make that time period look in the movies. They make it they romanticize it. They make it adventurous. They make it look clean in the movies, but that's the movies. What ideally happened was it wasn't a very clean time. I mean, obviously, if you had money, you were kind of, I mean, you were kept clean, but I don't think it was 100% clean, because you had money for like powders and stuff like that. But, uh, but yeah. Carol goes, "I think I would tell my younger self to be careful and be wise on your decision." I probably would do the same thing, Carol. If I saw my younger self, I would probably give my younger self advice. I'm sure all of us would. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? I know hot August nights, Reno. Sometimes someone I know goes to the car show, shows his 57 Plymouth Fury there. Emily, exactly. They weren't exactly up on hygiene. Shelly, totally agree. Hygiene was gross back then. Chris Barber goes, "I would tell my younger self to get a degree." Bernadette goes, "Even if you had money back then, nope." I mean, I still think though, if you had money, you were kind of clean. You weren't like the peasants on the peasants living in the cities below the castle type of thing. Heather, whatever goes, "Bring deodorant." There was like, "What is this kind of witchcraft you brought us?" That's what they would say if I brought them deodorant. "What is this?" They like, "Oh, it smells good." "And what do we do with this?" Bernadette goes, "The rich took baths once a week. I mean, no, thank you." I mean, in the movies, it seems like they take baths more, but that's the movies. Shelley goes, "What is the lime you speak of?" They know exactly. They would say that. "Julissa, how's it going?" Or you hand them a secret, they go, "What is the secret about?" Yeah, no, they'll have me condemned to the tower. Off to the tower. Sorry, I watch too many Renaissance period movies, if you can't tell. Chris Barber goes, if everyone stank, I would hate to stand out. Heather Whatever go, yes, some pretty women. Julia Roberts takes a bath. I didn't say that. I'm up. So I've got this cool article. This Etsy artist had to take a break to catch up on Halloween Happy Meal orders. I guess apparently they're not taking orders for these right now because they're so backed up. I mean, which is a good thing. I like to support small businesses. Bernadette goes, I love the Renaissance era, but I just can't. I have to think about the smell. Same here. And then the diseases. We don't, because of the uncleanliness. Hold on. Okay. Because of the uncleanliness, there was a lot of diseases too because of that. So that's another thing. I'd probably visit for a day and that's it. I think if we grew up in that time, we would have known nothing different. But because we came from now and we're going back, we have all these luxuries. We'd be like, hell no. So, which is kind of cool. So here's a Halloween one that this Etsy artist creates. That Etsy shop owner is John 7SVN7, who recently posted that they need to take a few days off and pause orders of their hugely popular Halloween Happy Meal collection because of demand. I wonder if it shows more. I clicked on it. It says it's not there. So they must have stopped it. Here's another. They look pretty cool, actually. The Halloween version went on sale on August 4th, and already orders are too much to fill promptly. You have seen this item floating around in your social media scroll, but beware, scammers love to trick you, and you might not get the item and never see your hard-earned money again. I've seen these before. I just never thought someone was actually making them. But based on the amount of 5-star reviews, John is the real deal. He customized Happy Meals, is made from cardstock, wood, and acrylic paint, and sells. I was gonna say and smells for $30. It includes McDonald's Halloween Michael Myers Happy Meal Horror Collectors box with miniature Season of the Witch television. This Halloween Michael Myers Happy Dead Meal box stands around 7 inches tall. John says in the description, I designed this for horror lovers and collectors just like myself. This is intended to be displayed on a shelf, nightstand, and a cabinet anywhere you desire that is not near water. He emphasizes that this is a paper product. It's made out of 80-pound cardstock, clean with care. Wow. How does he make it? It is made out of 80-pound cardstock, cleaned with care. I cut the television inspired by Halloween 3 Season of Witch out of popular wood on my scroll saw, hand paint it black and glue the image on the front. The TV is around 3.5 inches tall. It is not a toy. Keep away from children. This also comes with a mini French fry container to house the TV. I super glued the Happy Dead Meal box shut for aesthetics purposes or aesthetic purposes. It will not open. Although John is on a temporary break, you can ask Etsy to send an email reminder informing you when he is back online. I wonder if this takes me to his Etsy, because it's taking me to this item is unavailable. So I think these are pretty cool. I mean, I guess you can't. It doesn't take me to his Etsy, so I can't. He probably shut his store down. He might have shut his store down, so we can't put a reminder even if we wanted to. But these are pretty cool. Matthew goes, there's 6 of them. Wendy goes, evolved, not spoiled. Yeah, well, yeah. Matthew goes, McDonald's is bringing back glassware for a limited time like they used to have with different characters on them. Oh, that's cool. I have never seen a Madame Alexander doll as well in a Happy Meal, but I don't really eat there anymore. But I thought that was kind of cool and I wanted to share it. Let's see. Hold on. All right. This article is kind of crazy. I don't know. YouTube may shut me down for talking about it, but hell, I'm going to do it anyways. Because YouTube likes to be pesky, so I got to be careful with what I talk about. I can imagine, because you know when you a bot basically flags you, right? And then you have a chance to contest it. So when you contest it, you know, I'm assuming a human goes through. That's what it says. I don't know if that's the case, but I can imagine a human person going through my video and keeps hearing YouTube is pesky. I think they'd be laughing. But it's true. They are. They are. So this is from iHorror again. Like I said, they have this cool, strange, and unusual section that I didn't know about. I usually use them for movie news. This is a little crazy because when I saw this headline, I was like, "What?" Man sneezes, his, I don't want to say what it is, falls out in restaurant. So I was like, "What?" Like, you're telling me his fell out? Like, how? So, an unidentified Florida man recovering from intestinal surgery was eating at a restaurant when he sneezed, expelling his you-know-what out in front of other diners. One thing to make clear is that the innards did not expel through his nose, but rather an incision in his abdomen. The story comes from the Mirror. Now that makes sense. So then I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. But how did it come through the incision? Were they not like what the heck? The unfortunate 63-year-old fellow had the procedure done a few weeks prior and was fresh from getting the stitches removed. He decided to dine out thinking everything was okay. Sadly, it wasn't. He sneezed, causing the wound to open and viscera to spill out. I was like, what? That means I feel like when it goes, it happens. But I'm still like in shock because I'm thinking like, if you had like, what? The freak accident was reported by the American Journal of Medical Case Reports, wherein doctors said evisceration is a rare complication of abdominal surgery. They add, during breakfast, the man sneezed forcefully, followed by coughing. He immediately noticed a wet sensation and pain in his lower abdomen. Looking down, he observed several loops of pink bowel protruding from his recent surgical site. That would freak the hell out of me. He later related that he was unsure of how to proceed, so he covered the exposed intestines with his shirt. He initially decided to drive himself to the hospital, concerned that changing his position might injure his bowel. His wife request an ambulance, I would not want to move. I'd be so in shock. I'd be like, I'd probably have a panic attack because I don't know how I would react to that. I don't know about you guys, but that would make me go crazy. And I'd probably be irritated at the same time because I'd be like, look, the doctor, I entrusted the doctor to do this procedure, but yet this is happening. Like, how is this possible? When the emergency team arrived, they noted very little blood, but that a 3-inch lateral incision had opened up and a large amount of bowel protruding through it. Julissa goes, he was not stitched up correctly, just seen. That's what I'm thinking. Wendy has seen it. So Wendy can attest to it, that it has actually happened. But I mean, I give the guy props because he remained calm. I mean, according to, I don't know if he did or not, but it seemed like he did, and he thought it through instead of like, oh my God, because I would have panicked. Fortunately, the man received immediate care and was discharged on post-operative day 6 in good condition with a reassuring abdominal examination. We are glad the man is doing well and recovering from the incident, but it brings to mind the scene in Alien, which I saw someone mentioned in the chat, when John Hurt's character suffers a slightly similar but deadlier ordeal from his chest in the mess hall of the interstellar cruiser, the Nostromo. That's crazy. I could not believe what I was reading. Chris Barber goes, they used glue on my neck incision. Heather, whatever he goes, they threw him out of the hospital too soon or don't get the all you can eat. Shelly goes, Gorilla Glue tape. Gutter Girl goes, oh, dang, that sucks. I've had several abdominal surgeries. Thankful nothing like that happened. That's crazy. He should sue. Wendy goes, he should have been wearing an abdominal binder, which obviously it doesn't look like he was. Matthew goes, it was better in Spaceballs. Hello, my ragtime. Yeah. Hello, my ragtime gal. That is just, I could not believe. I was like, what? When I saw the article, I mean, I give the man props. He remained calm and he was like, I'm not moving just in case I could damage it worse. I would have freaked and I might have made it worse. But Wendy has actually seen it. She can attest to it, that it has happened. That is just crazy. I mean, and I kind of agree with Gunner Girl. He should have, I would have been complaining to the surgeon. I would have. Or why didn't you do this? Why didn't you give me this? Like, why did this happen? Like, honestly, when you go through something like that, you want to recover, not have to go back like a few days later because you were eating and it opened up. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Shelly goes, one good sneeze and all I do is pee a little. God, let my guts fall. I know, it's kind of like, oh, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine going through that. That would scare the crap out of me. I mean, I've never had abdominal surgery, so I mean, I've never really had surgery yet. I'm gonna knock on wood, so I don't know what to expect. But I feel like what Wendy said, they should have given him a brace. I feel like they didn't properly prepare him to go home, or he dismissed what they told him to do too. It could be on his side too, because that article doesn't say the whole thing. But I don't blame him one bit, even if he chose not to wear it. But still. Wendy goes, can we talk adhesions? Heather Ritter goes, I'd be back. I want my money back, Doc. Exactly. I've been like, hell no. Thank you, Heather Whatever, for your PayPal. Hearts for Heather Whatever, guys. Thank you as always. Thank you, Heather Whatever. I appreciate that. And I'll give you a few more minutes to look for the Pinchy Skeleduck. Just remind me if I don't say anything. Because I know some people about that previous article, I know some people are stubborn, so they don't. Though that article did not say that, maybe they did give him the abdominal brace and he chose not to wear it. So it's a big possibility, or they didn't give it to him at all. But the article did not say that, so I don't know like the whole, inside details of how, but I still don't get how that could happen. Matthew goes, I see the precious. Bye, precious. Bernadette goes, Lisa, what is that with a beard in the back of you? I don't have anything with a beard in the back of me. I'm trying to think of what it may be besides the critter back there. I mean, that's the only thing. But Matthew goes, free surgery for life. If it was me, I mean, I would have been like, I don't want to pay for this. Oh, it's a gnome. She's talking about the okay. Now I was like, a beard behind me. Did you see something I didn't see or disappeared? What? A ghost? I wouldn't put it past if it was that you guys saw something that I can't see. No, she's talking about the gnome that's by the Squid Game. It's a gnome, but it's a winter gnome. The Halloween gnome is in my room. I do because I collect gnomes. Garden gnome. I have garden gnomes, you name it. I collect them. It's a winter one, more for Christmas, but I just left it there. And then I have in the other room I have the Halloween one. Actually, I probably should flip them. Should put the Halloween one in here. And I have Valentine's ones too. Cuz I like gnomes. I have all kinds. I've got like horror ones. I've got there's one up there. It's a cat with a gnome in its mouth and a bunch of gnomes like with like bread rollers going like this. Chris Barber goes, I have several gnomes too. I've got like a laundry gnome. I haven't put it out yet because I haven't found a spot for it. I've got drunk gnomes. Matthew goes, should have gnomed it was the gnome. Bernadette goes, your blue bunny is giving me the creeps. My peep? My peep, and it's next to my face hugger ornament that I happen to get. It's weird because usually these I got it off of Etsy, and usually they sell out as soon as she puts them out because she only puts them out around Christmas time, and I was able to snag one this time. So I bought one because last year I missed out, and I was like, oh, this year I'll get one. So Christmas time I was able to snag the face hugger ornament. Heather, whatever goes, cool. I have a fairy garden, lights up with tiny lights. That is cool. I've got a gnome that has like the scene from The Shining where he puts his head through the door and goes, it's Johnny, except this one says it's Nomi. I've got zombie gnomes. I got gnomes all over the place. I don't know how I got to collecting gnomes. I think I started with like a skeleton gnome and then I just went crazy. I don't know how it happened. I just started collecting gnomes. Which is weird, but Wendy goes, I got them from a flea market and I saged them. They have a gnome. I didn't get it though. They have a gnome that's on the from Game of Thrones. They have a gnome sitting on the throne from Game of Thrones. Chris goes, I've always wanted a drunk gnome that passed out. I got a bunch of them. I have 3 of them, and they're in front of like a fire, a campfire, and they're all passed out. Shelly goes, gnomes are your spirit animal. They must be. Rochelle goes, definitely you need How to Survive a Garden Gnome Attack book. Bernadette goes, I see you moved your ghost in the back for your Jason. Yeah, I put my my backpacks up. It's like I had a rack to that holds up lounge flight bags, but this one, it's a crappy one, to be honest with you. I'll probably get a better one later. But I put some of my lounge fly, I'm getting tongue twisted, backpacks up, and then I officially hung the ghost up on it's in front of me on the wall, and I could light it up. In fact, I forgot to turn it on. But it's plugged in now and I can light it up. Because when I first got the ghost light, it fell and it cracked, so I was so mad. But this time I hung it up with a good hook so it won't fall. Rochelle goes, there's a show from Great Britain, and there's like this old man who's obsessed with gnomes and he even dresses like one. I forgot what it's from. Oh, that's crazy. Julissa goes, I love this chat. You're all so clever. I have it's over there by my DJ equipment. There's a gnome, and it's like a chalkboard in front of him, so you could write whatever you want, and he's got like an axe behind his back. I got that too. Lisa Boo goes, the funniest gnome I saw was passed out but mooning the sky. I've seen I think I have one that does that. It's passed out. I got like the gnome zombie gnomes coming out of the ground. And then I have they also have like, I guess they call them gnomes, that they're the horror figures. So I have a Jason, Michael, Ghostface. Bernadette goes, I'll pay you to get Lewis to dress as a gnome for Halloween. That would be too funny. That would be hilarious. Rochelle goes, that would be cruel. Emily will chip in. So does Wendy supports it. Oh, it makes it brighter in here. I forgot to turn the ghost light on. It makes it brighter. It does. It makes me look clearer. Because I don't have my ring light. I think it's supposed to be directly in front of me, but I don't have room to put it in front of me, so it's to the left of me. So I think it creates like that harsh light on me. Dusty, what is up? How's it going? We're just if you guys are coming in right now, we are just it's questions and answer time. We did talk about time traveling. We talked about haunted airports. So if you guys would if you guys are just coming in now, you can catch it on the replay. Guys, keep the questions coming. We're kind of talking about gnomes now. Rochelle goes more like we time travel. We talked about time. Yeah, we basically talked about time travel. 3 different time travel incidents. Dusty, no, that's okay, Dusty. I figured that much because we're like there's a big time gap between here in Hawaii. Before, I mean, when the time changes, I think we'll be a little bit closer again, but Chris, thank you for being a member of the Wolfpack for 11 months, almost a year. You're almost there, Chris. Hearts for Chris, guys. I totally understand because I know some of us are on different time zones, and I do appreciate those that do show up, and those that are on the East Coast, I do appreciate as well. Bernadette is asking if you could time travel, would you warn anyone about war or anything like that? The problem is, I would love to, but I'm figuring that because I'm thinking if we could have the ability to do that, um, like the video, like what I talked earlier, I want to believe, but it's hard for me to believe that there are people time traveling, but I do want to believe. But if we do have the ability to do so, I feel like it would be like I think I mentioned it earlier, like in the Flash or Back to the Future with the Flashpoint or Back to the Future, where if you change something in the future, it'll change your past and it could cause an alternate universe, and I do believe that's a possibility. So I would be very um depending on if it was detrimental to the area, I would say something, but if it would harm everywhere else, like if it made a big like change that harmed, then I probably would not say anything. Julissa goes, I wish time travel was possible. That would be so cool. Wendy goes, I want to believe in parallel universes. Rochelle goes, yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You know what? To be honest with you, I've never seen that movie, but yeah, I think it was about time travel, if I'm not mistaken. Dusty goes, getting a taco salad made for dinner. What was for dinner out there? I had a DiGiorno personal cheese pizza that I put in my air fryer. I love those. Sometimes I like them better. I like the DiGiorno it's weird if you cook them just right. Like I like them sometimes better than pizza that you get from a pizzeria. They're really good pizzas for frozen pizzas and a salad. Heather, whatever goes, some science fiction writer wrote on where he was his grandpa or something like that. Shelley would love to time travel if it was possible. Chris had a frozen dinner. Julissa also had pizza, but it was a Little Caesar. Shelley goes, the hot tub time machine. Rochelle had a gluten-free berries cake. Hey, why not, Rochelle? That sounded good. Wendy had meat sauce with ravioli. 'Cause, 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 'cause Heather, whatever, had a lemon poppy seed cake. Those are good too. Nothing wrong with that, guys. If you choose to have cake for dinner, nothing wrong with that. I know with me lately, because of the heat, I haven't been super hungry, so I'd probably. Bernadette goes, that's why they say it's DiGiorno, not delivery. But honestly, those pizzas are really good for frozen pizzas. They are. Shelly had McDonald's. Wendy's not much into sweets. Nothing wrong with that. Gunner Girl had Costco chicken in a salad. Chris likes Red Baron pizza. I like the little personal ones because I can fit them in my air fryer. I should get that. I should try the like the French bread ones next time. Bernadette had Dick's barbecues. Yes, that's what they are called. Delirious meats. I've heard of Dick's barbecue. I think we have them. Yeah, we have them here. Dusty picked a bunch of Hawaiian chilies today that I'm drying now. Oh, that's cool. Julissa's open to any kind of pizza. Emily had sloppy Joe pasta. Oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, Bernadette meant delicious, not delirious. It kind of went with it though, Bernadette. Wendy goes, I cook as much as I can at home, 2 air fryers and Instapot. That actually, Wendy, that's the way to go. Cooking at home is the way to go, honestly. You could say, especially here in the state of California, fast food, the price of I don't know if it's the same for you for anyone out of state, but here in California, all the prices have skyrocketed on fast food because a majority of the fast food restaurants, the employees are now making $20 an hour. So to offset the cost, everything else is going up, which is crazy. I mean, we went to a music festival and they had food trucks there. And of course, it cost for they had a plant-based truck, but this is with any food at a music festival. It's already raised up. I think it cost us like almost $80 for 2 sandwiches, 2 fries, and a drink. So we were like, nope, we're not doing that next time. Shelly goes, used to be an old barbecue joint in Phoenix called Honey Bear's Barbecue. You don't need no teeth to eat our meat. True story. Oh, that's a cool slogan. Rochelle goes, with gluten intolerance too, or any specific diet, definitely at home cooking. True. Definitely. Yeah, Wendy. It was almost $80. It was ridiculous. And then I read an article that here in the state of California, I don't think it's going to pass, but they had mentioned that the fast food workers wants to raise the minimum wage from 20. And I don't mean to be mean, but a fast food restaurant is usually what you do when you're in high school. But like at this point, fast food's looking mighty good at $20 an hour. I mean, you make more than working at like doing some other jobs. I'm pretty sure they're cutting hours. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure because I don't work in fast food, but I'm pretty sure here in California, I'm pretty sure they're cutting the hours. So they're probably only working like 4-hour shifts or something, which sucks. So it defeats the purpose of. Dusty goes, we have a food truck festival coming up next month where they close Front Street down between 1 and 6 p.m. They're fun. Food trucks are fun. It's just when you go to a music festival, they raise all the prices. Heather, whatever exactly, they already raised the wage to 20 an hour, except smaller chains. I think it depends on how many employees you have, if I'm not mistaken. So it's probably mostly like the McDonald's, Jack in the Box. I know In-N-Out was already paying their employees, I think, a higher rate, but In-N-Out, I think too. I'm not sure who else raised. Wendy goes, when have you ever got a fast food drive-through order correct? My man had a full-blown meltdown in the parking lot. Oh, no way. I always check now. See, this is what happened. I had ordered I don't eat meat, so I had ordered from Panda Express because they do have the Beyond Meat. So I did an online order. Didn't check it, was stupid enough not to check it because usually I did, but this time I didn't because I had been ordering. At that point, I had ordered like a couple orders like the week before and the week after. So I was like, no, they had gotten it right. So I didn't think anything. So I get to my destination and they put the actual, and I don't eat meat again. So they actually put the meat one in there. So I could not eat the meal at all. I mean, I ended up calling them or emailing them and I got my money back. But that irritated the hell out of me. Chris Barber goes, I had a job for 18 years and when I left I was making like $13.50 an hour. Exactly. They're making more at flipping burgers at McDonald's than you were, Chris. It's ridiculous. Heather, whatever goes, our Dairy Queen, they got raises there. So I'm pretty sure the Dairy Queen down here as well probably did too. Which kind of irritated the hell out of me. So always check your orders. I'm like, and it was an online order. So, I mean, they had to read the order. And I get it. We're not perfect, but still. We make mistakes here and there. I understand it. We're human. I understand that. Even machines make mistakes. But Rochelle goes, oh yeah, without a doubt, nothing's more made the same anymore. You just got to be careful. And DoorDash, that's why I like to order through them, even though they may be a little bit pricier. I know Amazon, if you have an Amazon Prime account, it does come with Grubhub. If you guys wasn't aware. I use it I try not to use it because it is expensive, but it comes in handy when you're sick and you have no one else to get you food. It comes awesome and handy. And you could just tell them to put it by your door. When you're sick, you don't feel like driving out or whatnot. That's when I tend to use it. Dusty goes, funny story. The only thing I buy from Jack in the Box is stuffed jalapenos. The girl at the window said, I knew it was you. You are the only one who orders that. That's cool, though. All right, guys, Skeleduck, because Lisa Boo said Pinche Duck. Skeleduck is right there on in the shoulder cavity of my skeleton. He's right there. He blends in with the skeleton so well. Right where my finger. In fact, when I put it there, the skeleton fell. And I was like, ah! So I had to put the skeleton back up. But he's right there where my finger's pointing for the skeleton. Chris Barber goes, I thought that was him. Julissa goes, you tricky girl, Lisa. Shelly's like, I knew it. Lisa Boo's like, I knew it. Wendy goes, Pinche Lisa, how dare you? Rochelle goes, oh my God, that's why I couldn't find him. Honestly, I never noticed. All right, guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? Chris Barber goes, the skeleton had a growth on his neck. That's what it looks like. He blends in. Bernadette goes, I don't like that pinche duck, Lisa. Too clever. Watch YouTube's gonna say, you say pinche too many times. Thank you, Lisa Boo. I really appreciate that. Dusty asked, did I feel the earthquake? It's funny. I did not feel it, but I heard like the aftermath of it. You know how when the house creaks? Like I heard that, but I didn't feel it. I have not felt any of the dinging earthquakes this year, which is crazy. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Shelly, thank you again for another super chat. Hearts for Shelly. Thank you. Great stream, Lisa. I appreciate that, Shelly. Hearts for Shelly, guys. Julissa goes, I'm so glad I made it to the stream. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Julissa. I'm getting tongue twisted. Sorry, guys. Julissa, thank you also for being a member for 16 months. Hearts for Julissa as well. It's a good thing. Thank you, Julissa. All right, guys, I am going to end the stream. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Reports. I will see you guys on the next one, which will be Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be there, be squared, stay spooky, guys, and sweet nightmares. Good night, guys. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. See you Saturday. Good night, guys.